listening to the Scoop Slam Podcast.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Scoop Slam Podcast. We are back, the second week of the year. We're here to break it down across 4 different shows and 3 different promotions. Before we get too far into anything, I'm one half of your hosting team, Mr. Scoop, also known as Micah. And on the other end of the call, you can call him a lot of things. We call him the historian, but you can call him Mr. Slam. It's Ryan.
Yo, Micah, ready to cross the line with you here on the Scoop Slam Podcast. And we got a loaded show to run down, review. And I'm excited to be back here with you on the Scoop Slam Podcast.
I think some lines were definitely crossed. I don't know if they were the right lines, but the lines were crossed nonetheless.
Yeah, there was a lot of lines this week. A lot of shows.
But no Scoop 5 this week, which there is some news, but we will just get it as it comes in the shows. But to start us off, we're just going to go ahead and jump into Friday Night SmackDown, which started off with Randy Orton in the ring. And then he was interrupted by newcomer, $1 Million, Trick Williams, and they had a little back and forth exchange here. I thought this was a pretty good showing for Trick on the mic. I think he definitely has the it factor, and he's making a name for himself on SmackDown. And I texted you when I saw this as well because, you know, we talk about it all the time, the look. And when Randy and Trick were across the ring from each other, it looked like a even matchup.
But how much baby oil do you think Trick was using to start this show out? Came out a little too shiny for my taste, you know? How about you?
Well,
a lot of baby oil.
You know, might have been on the Diddy course.
Randy had the Diddy course. Randy's had a history of a lot of baby oil. You think he maybe share some secrets to the trade?
You think they share? Never mind.
Oh,
I don't know. I do remember that from Randy.
he was very shiny.
Yeah. I don't know. Trick, maybe it was the lighting over there in Germany or something.
It was the lighting.
But I think he does have, like, I don't know how to explain it.
He has a presence about him, but
yeah,
I'm gonna try to be nice here. I think he still does sound a little too rehearsed for my liking, but he does have a good presence. He has size. He has a physique. He uses a lot of baby oil, so he checks a lot of boxes to be a great professional wrestler. But yeah, man, I don't know. That's something that you really either have it or you don't. And he kind of has the WWE eyes, the cadence when he talks or cuts promos. I don't like that.
Well, I'll give it time. I mean, some guys never come out of it. You know, I still think Seth kind of sounds rehearsed some of the time, but I do see what you mean. But I still thought it was a good segment. I think mainly it's not like I'm looking at some like 5'11" dude looking at like 6'3" Randy Orton, and it's like they're asking me to buy this. You know what I mean? Like Trick looks the part, and when he comes out, I mean, he immediately grabs your attention. His theme song's over. Did you notice? Did you notice Trick slapping the mic out of Randy's hand, and he 100% hit a fan with that mic?
Is that why the AEW fans don't keep fans on? Or is that why the AEW doesn't keep fans on that side of the arena so they don't hit anybody?
Oh, here we go.
I'm just asking questions. Do you have a problem with Trick backing down to Randy like that?
Well, how exactly did he back down? I don't.
Well, he kind of got beat up and then he ran out the ring.
Well, yeah, but he knew he had a match later, and he's a heel.
Is he that type of heel though?
I mean, he's he's an intelligent heel. He knew he had a match. He didn't want to gas himself out fighting Randy. I don't know. It
Okay.
didn't bother me.
Yeah, he's a Hall of Famer. Randy's a Hall of Famer, but the match, Ray Phoenix, Trick Williams, any problems with this going 15 plus minutes?
Yes, that was my main problem with this.
Yeah.
I thought there were some good spots. Like one was Trick like pulled away from Phoenix holding his arm. You know how they do. That bothers us. They'll grab the arm, they walk up on the ropes, and they're just sitting there holding them. Basically, it's fine if you wrench it and make it make sense, but if you're just up there holding hands while the guy does a tightrope, that's stupid. So Trick like pulled his arm away, and then Phoenix turned it into this little springboard drop kick. I thought that was a kind of nice, like on the fly move that you don't see all the time. But yeah, I don't care for how back and forth this was. Like, I know Phoenix is built up as a competitive mid carder, but like,
He
let's
really
be
has.
real here.
No, whoa, he hasn't though. What was the last mid card match you can remember that Phoenix has won? I remember he being in a tag team with Andrade.
Yeah,
I feel like that was the last time he was featured on the show was with the tag team he had with Andrade, and that was at the beginning of the year.
honestly, if I'm being completely real with you, I have not watched SmackDown in so long.
All right,
I don't
I
remember the
give you
last
that.
match I've seen of his.
He hasn't been featured often as a it's night and day when it comes to how Raw's treating Penta and how SmackDown's treating Phoenix. It is completely night and day. But 15 plus minutes, I did like the Trick cheated to win, or kind of took the quick roll up finish. That's fine, but it didn't need to go 15 minutes to get there. Like quick,
Yeah.
like 8 minutes maybe. That's probably pushing it too. But yeah, man, come on now, 15 plus minutes.
And this is a common problem we have, most of the time, like with wrestling is like, I don't know, man, there's just not many like 10-minute matches anymore.
But it just
They
it goes to show how they perceive Trick because you don't debut Brock Lesnar and have him go 15 minutes with Rey Mysterio. I don't know,
yeah.
man.
No, I feel you. I wrote the exact same thing down, so I'm kind of glad you brought it up before I did actually.
Yeah.
But for the rest of SmackDown, it was kind of there. It wasn't bad, but the main thing here obviously is going to be the main event, which was Drew McIntyre versus Cody Rhodes in a 3 stages of hell match for the WWE Championship. Now, I have an overarching thing about this match. It's a stipulation that we haven't seen in a while, but just before we even get into it, you know what bothers me about this?
Probably many things, but go ahead, tell me.
Well, the the fact that like they always make the first and second match go super fast and then the last one like drags. That just doesn't make sense in my mind. Shouldn't the first match be the longest because you're the freshest?
Uh, yeah, and when you think about it logically, like what main event match do you ever see that goes 8 minutes? Like a world title match that goes 8 minutes.
Yeah.
So when you see Drew McIntyre and Cody Rhodes match ends in 8 minutes, it doesn't feel right. But maybe if I put my William Regal commentator hat on for a sec, Micah, maybe they're conserving energy and they know they can afford to lose one fall, so they don't try as hard in the kickouts. Because
See,
you
I
can you exude a lot of energy in those kickouts, Micah. It happens.
Yeah, I honestly had thought about that, and I thought maybe I could like wrap the logic that way, which is kind of, I don't know, but we're all about logical wrestling here, so it just it kind of bothered me. The same way with like the Iron Man matches. You'll get one of the guys get a first pinfall in the first 10 minutes. Like, dude, if I'm booking an Iron Man match, nobody gets a pin until 30 minutes. Then you can get your 2 and 3 falls after that because you're tired. But like most matches go especially in AEW, most matches go 20 to 25 to 30 minutes. So, like, why are we taking falls in the first 10?
Well, it adds a little bit of unpredictability. If you're in an Iron Man match, maybe you go down one fall. Okay, all right. Let's see how the babyface can come back from this obstacle. Oh, you go down two falls. Well, now I'm rooting for the babyface even more because I'm down two falls. I can see what they could do with scenario like that, but yeah, the 2 out of 3 falls always been weird as when they ended in 5 minutes. Yeah, I agree with.
Well, to start the 3 stages of hell off, they had a normal match, which again went about 8 minutes. It was a good quick finish. Like, I can somewhat buy this because it was a low blow and a finisher. So I thought they did a good thing to cover the first fall up, even though it was short. But other than that, I didn't really have a lot of talking points out of the first match.
Uh, I mean, I thought it was a good match overall. Just, I wish we could have got something like this at Survivor Series or like
Oh
any of the
yeah.
PLEs.
Which part of that I'm kind of well, I'll wait to the end. The second stage was a falls count anywhere. First off, pause on the banana spot.
It was low on potassium. Cody Rhodes was helping Drew out by shoving a banana in his mouth. You never done that to one of your opponents, Mike?
Ah, nope,
Never
can't
whipped
say
out a
that I
banana.
have.
You never whipped out a banana and shoved it in, shoved it in another guy's mouth.
We've already mentioned Diddy, and now we're moving on to the banana, and we're only in the first like 15 minutes of the episode. So boy, we got a roller coaster going on this one. My only other thing was, I thought this was good. It went around the arena. The crowd was super into it, obviously, because they were fighting throughout the crowd. But I thought the fight in the alleyway, when Cody did the table dive, it was really hard to see because I couldn't see what he was slamming him into because there was no lights over there.
Yeah. Yeah, I
But
agree.
I mean, other than that, like, I hate to just leave it so cut and dry,
Yeah,
but there just wasn't a whole lot for me to like add
there's
for
a
the
lot of
falls
walk
count
fighting.
anywhere.
Yeah, there's a lot of walk fighting. I mean, the
Yeah,
banana spot was funny, but yeah.
immediately. It's funny because like I can see myself like watching these wrestling shows because like I'll see it and then I just immediately turn my phone up and start typing. And I was like, bro, but come on, the banana? Really?
I think Wade Barrett couldn't control his laughter either.
Oh yeah, they thought it was funny. I mean, I
That's valid.
laughed, but
I'll give them that because I know some commentators get a little carried away with the laughter, but that was funny.
well, we move on to the third stage, which obviously is the final 1-1. Drew got the first fall, Cody gets the second. This one in a steel cage, which both guys were really, really feeling it and exhausted by the time this came around. But I thought they did a good job to keep you interested because they were kind of doing a little finisher spam after a while, or at least just kind of the big moves. I don't know that the Cody Cutter is such a finisher, but I thought there was a really good false finish at one point where Drew went to power Cody up, and Cody kind of reversed it into a crossroads. Obviously, didn't finish him, but I thought it was a good spot. As well as the Cody Cutter off the top, which is kind of wild when you think about it. It's just kind of a flat back bump off of the steel cage, which also is kind of stupid because you could just climb out.
Yeah. Well, he's a babyface. You can't just climb out. It's not the
Man,
babyface way to do it. You gotta
when
end
you
it.
put it like that.
Yeah, you gotta end it in pinfall, pal. What are you talking about?
Well, speaking of ending it, I thought that it was a well planned finish. Jacob Fatu returned, came in to attack Drew. Cody kind of got in the way, ultimately attacked Cody as well. Drew crawls out and is your new WWE champion finally. We've got a new champion, and it's a guy that couldn't deserve it more for the work that he's done over the past 2 years. I also think it's a good job of getting Jacob immediately into the main event scene following his return. And yeah, I mean, overall, it was a pretty solid match. Nothing crazy.
Whoa,
Like,
you like
oh,
that
go ahead.
finish?
You didn't like it?
I did not like the finish at all. I thought the match was good, but the finish was really, really bad. Because first of all, Jacob Fatu used the Masked Man gimmick, which we just seen a month ago with Austin Theory, did we not?
Well, we see that all the time, so I've
Okay,
just
well,
come to accept it.
if Jacob Fatu was hell bent on getting revenge on Drew, doesn't he look like a dumb for beating Cody Rhodes up and then letting Drew just walk out the door?
Well, he got carried away.
He got carried. Well, doesn't that make him look bad though? Dumb babyface syndrome.
He did it for The Rock. No, I don't know. I
It
do
puts
see
all.
your point.
I feel like they put all the heat on Fatu here when the heat should have went to Drew McIntyre, especially when they had. There was times where they could have just let Drew cheat to win this match, but they put all the heat in the end on Jacob Fatu, and man, I know heels supposed to, barely escape and barely win, but Drew McIntyre has taken a lot of losses over the last year and a half. And if there was ever a time to get him real legitimate heat, I'm not saying he should beat Cody Rhodes clean, but I don't think the involvement of Jacob Fatu was needed.
I kind of see your point. Like it doesn't. It helps Drew to win the WWE Championship, but I do think that
Yeah,
kind of is a band-aid on the real problem that like Drew never actually wins.
yeah. Like I'm fine with him winning the title. I loved him winning the title. I was excited, but Jacob Fatu's involvement wasn't needed here, and they could have just done. They could have just gave Drew the win, and that could have just been the end of the Cody Drew feud right then and there.
Well, but I don't think it would be the end because Cody lost his belt, but I think it needed to be the end. So I think maybe
No,
it gives him a good segue out of it.
no, but well, hold up now. It could have been the end because they're having qualifying matches for the Rumble starting next week. So theoretically, Cody Rhodes doesn't get a title match because we already got these other matches lined up for the Rumble. So Cody Rhodes enters the Rumble, loses the Rumble, and then that's how he gets his storyline going into WrestleMania. I think this could have been the end with Drew pinning Cody Rhodes, man. It wouldn't have been the end of the world to have Cody Rhodes lose a match going into Royal Rumble.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't think about it that way. I did like it. Obviously, like you said, Drew deserves it. That's not the problem. Just maybe the way they went about it. I think it makes it interesting at least. Like I'm gonna tune in to SmackDown to see where they go from
And
here with it.
no babyface take a pinfall ever,
No, pal. Not
ever.
unless you're LA Knight.
It was the right time to pull the trigger on Drew. They gave him the title. Happy about that, but I feel like he's still at a level that's not quite at the main event level. If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
But
Like
we'll
it's
see.
not that he isn't there, but it's like they don't see him as being there.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Is there any? I don't think there's any like clear destination though for Drew going into WrestleMania.
Yeah, I don't know because it was kind of a talking point in one of the TikToks I uploaded the other day was like, well, how long does Drew keep it? And even then, like, let's hypothetically, and then we can kind of move on to Raw. Let's say Roman faces Braun, right? And then let's say Cody faces Randy. You still got the two world titles, and we don't really know where we're mapping those out at. But let's just say you get CM Punk versus Sammy, because I could see that maybe. But
Really?
then like, do you go with Drew and Oba?
Maybe Fatu and Drew, if you can hold that off. You think you can hold that
Yeah.
off until WrestleMania?
I don't know, man. That's why, like, I hate to say it. I just can't. I don't know that there is a scenario outside of like a Roman Reigns that I can put Drew McIntyre into the main event of WrestleMania with.
Yeah, no faith in him, huh?
No, there's just nothing like super built up. Like, I just don't. At this very moment, I don't buy him and Jacob Fatu as a WrestleMania main event. 2 years
Well,
from
hold up
now,
now.
maybe.
Hold up now, pal. You forget who just won a big feud on SmackDown? Damian Priest. They
Oh
got
God.
history.
Oh God.
They have a WrestleMania match, and they have two actually WrestleMania matches. So let's go for the trilogy.
I like Priest, but nah. His
He
time in the
seems like a
sun
nice
is
guy.
done.
Yeah.
Well, speaking to new and fresher talent, we'll move to Monday Night Raw, which started off with Javon Evans versus An Americano. I don't remember his name, and you'll have to explain to me the lore because I hadn't been tapped into these.
I
What
think
has happened?
I think he was facing what's Bravo? I think he was facing Bravo.
Okay.
Uh,
Is that Tyler
uh
Bate?
yeah, that was definitely Tyler Bate. You see the size. He couldn't even see over the top rope. Yeah, it was definitely Tyler Bate.
Well, I think as far as the match went, I think it was pretty solid. Javon as a whole is a shot in the arm to this show because he's what we've been clamoring for. A young guy who I haven't been watching for 15 years, and he's energetic and he has a connection with the crowd, and he's doing the typical climb. You know what I mean? The typical, I'm new here. I'm gonna have some good, quick TV matches to get myself over. So I enjoyed this. I do think, however, someone needs to drop the cutter finisher, whether that be Cody, whether that be Javon. One
Oh,
of
all
them's
right
got to
then,
drop it.
Vince. Oh, okay. All right. So nobody can do a cutter now. Just one guy.
No, you still got
Can't be one.
Randy. He can do his.
Can't be two people that got the name Shane. Has to be one Shane, and only one person has to have each finish, huh?
Oh, it doesn't
You
sound
know
so
that.
bad when you think about it.
You know that was the reason why he wouldn't let Shane Helms go by Shane Helms because they already had Shane on the show. They had Shane McMahon.
I don't think I would go to that extent, but I can understand why he would do that.
No more Shane. Just one Shane. I don't know.
Well,
Yeah, the cutter does look impressive though. So if anybody needs to drop the cutter, I think it should be Cody.
I think so too, but I didn't want the American Nightmares coming for me.
Is that what his fans are called? What his
Oh, I don't
fans are
know.
called? You know,
The
Cena had
army
the C Nation and the Chain Gang.
would
What's
that just be the
Cody's?
army? The 3-star general?
Mm, okay, let's rock with it.
Okay.
No, the Cody Crybabies. How can we forget?
Ah, there we go.
How can we
Coined
forget
by
that?
coined by
Cody,
Dwayne himself.
the final boss to you, pal.
Yeah. Sorry. I don't want to make a bad impression like Keanu Carver.
Mm,
Anyways, did you like the match?
yeah, it was there. It didn't go too long. It was fine. What it
Yeah.
was. Yeah.
Well, speaking of our guy,
That's it. That's all I got for that.
okay. We got a world heavyweight championship appearance from one Mr.
Mm.
Phil Brooks. CM
This
Punk
one is
came out.
yeah. This one the show started for me.
You told me to check out the Javon match.
Did I?
You did. Because I watched Raw live, but you were like,
Maybe
no,
it's
no, no,
because
I
I watched
didn't.
so
I
much
watched
wrestling.
it back. You watched it, and we're like, make sure you check out the Javon match.
Maybe it's because I watched so much wrestling this week. that I probably would have been more excited with that review if I didn't watch three other shows this week.
Well, that's true, especially the state of the most recent one. But anyways, uh, as JR says, business picked up soon as CM Punk steps on the stage. He got a monster reaction, and as for the guy facing him, Finn Balor, he got a golf clap.
Is this the long rumored singles push that they've been talking about since
Oh my
2018?
god!
You remember always seeing those reports? Finn Balor in line for a big push.
Yes,
It just never came about.
I wonder
This is what they were
why.
talking about. I mean, look at the state of him. Does it bother you that people compare him to like Derrick Rose of WWE?
Yes, no, it bothers me that people consistently put him in world championship conversations. Like I saw posts on like TikTok that would have like 15,000 likes and it was like a hype video for Finn to win the world heavyweight championship like a day after Raw.
Bro, whatever aura he had in NXT and whatever he was doing in Japan that nobody saw, it's gone. It's not there anymore. Now the state of Finn Balor in 2026 is just a shell of him of his former self, just Finn Balor. That's what he is. He's been beaten down. He's took so many losses over the years. How can you take this guy serious? Like I know it's gonna be a big moment in his homeland. Give him a little. He'll probably come out as a demon, but when the smoke settles and you see the goofy body paint and CM Punk gives him that GTS and he's looking up at the lights. I hope this is the end of the Finn Balor experience in the main event.
Yeah, I
No
do too.
disrespect. I'm sure he's a nice guy, but
I mean, I feel the same way because he hasn't. Here's the thing, too. He hasn't been treated like a main eventer. We literally call him Penn Balor. He always loses. He never wins his feuds. So why? Like, I know. I literally wrote the same thing you said. I know why they're doing it because they're going to Ireland. It's just going to be a one-off. So I guess fine. I genuinely would not have a bad word to say about him if it wasn't for the rabid fan base that comes out when Finn Balor has an opportunity at a world title because they're all the copium kills me. They're like, bro, he had a banger with Seth Rollins in 2023 at SummerSlam. He should have won. SummerSlam 2023 is historically known for being garbage.
I don't remember that.
That was the one you watched when we were on the way back from South Carolina that had Jay
Oh,
and
yeah, that happened on that show.
yep. And it was
Okay.
bad. It wasn't bad. It was just Ryan, in your head, close your eyes and imagine a Seth Rollins Finn Balor match. Like
I
by
can
all
picture it.
intents and purposes, it's not bad. It's just paint by the numbers.
Yeah, it was probably a well wrestled wrestling match, but it just was probably had no heat to it, and nothing memorable came out of the match. You know what? He is the newer generation, the fans that just started watching in the last 10 years or so. He's that generation's Dolph Ziggler. That's what he is. They
Yeah.
have the rabid fan base, and they've never been pushed at that level consistently as far as the main eventer goes. But the fan base just always pushes for him to get that one last push, and it's never going to come. But he'll get in there, and he'll have you a good maybe solid Raw match here and there. But when you put him in that main event scene, then the actual fans in the building, they just don't care.
Yeah. I mean, I think Dolph's a better wrestler. Hey, but you know. I draw the comparison too. And because some guy hit me in the comments and was like, bro, it's just because his booking's bad. I said, oh, okay. You know who else's booking is bad? LA Knight. But you know who maintains a great connection with the crowd? LA Knight. Like, come on, man. It's this loud
Yeah.
minority online that loves Finn Balor. But when he comes out, don't nobody care. So, anyways, I'm sure we'll see him go to sleep next week. But
We might.
yeah, and to his little line that was like, the line starts with me. What? The line to catering? Like, what? What line? Like, if you were in you know how in universe mode you can put people in divisions? Like, Finn would be in like the speed championship division in terms of his
Oh man.
win-loss. Like, I'm just saying, like, he statistically, outside of anything you care about that he's done in Japan or anything, if you look at Finn Balor's 2024 and 2025, statistically, he should not be in a world championship conversation. Now, I know some people say wins and losses don't matter. That's stupid.
Well, dude, it is pro wrestling, so I mean, if you can heat a guy up, and he hasn't won all year long, I don't see a problem with them getting a title match. But in this case, CM Punk, I think he specifically in his first or second promo back, he called out a bunch of guys and he mentioned Finn Balor. So I'm sure CM Punk wants to work with Finn Balor. It's gonna be in Ireland. And so in this case, wins and losses do not matter because it'll be a cool visual when he comes out with the demon paint. That'll be where the cool visual ends for me personally. But I'm happy for all the Finn Balor fans out
Yeah, I mean, y'all eat your heart out, man. It's probably the last time you're getting there.
there. That's it.
But no, I mean, like I said, I get why they're doing it. It's one of those things. It's like AEW, kind of in a sense, where it's like, where it would be fine if y'all just would shut up. Like the fan base is just crazy, and they're worse than the actual like wrestler or promotion himself. But
It makes you not want to cheer for him when you read the comments under like anything involved.
exactly, because I just don't feel the same way, and I just don't understand how other people do. But Braun Breaker and Adam Pearce had a little break apart here.
My God, crash out.
I thought this was probably the best part of the show, to be honest with you. I thought Adam Pearce, I don't know, I guess he brought his working boots, but I thought he was excellent in this segment. I'm not sure what exactly they're building to. I heard somebody rumor that we're getting Pierce versus Braun Breaker at WrestleMania, which I don't really.
At Mania? Come on.
That's what I heard, and I really hope
at
it's
Mania
not true.
is outrageous. I mean, I'm fine like Elimination Chamber, but at Mania, I don't know about that, Chief. He should have took
I'd
a
rather
spear.
see Aldis versus Pierce.
That that could have happened a couple years ago. They both look like they're in pretty good shape. They could probably still do it, but Pierce should have took a spear in this segment. Am I wrong for thinking that?
I think they're saving it.
You think he will get the spear?
I think he will.
You know he's a former NWA World Champ, Adam Pearce.
Put him in a drop toe hold.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I was trying to pull some old move out of my bag.
Drop toe hold, atomic drop.
Yep. A plain old DDT.
A body slam. We got a pile driver.
A scoop slam, even.
Yep. Yeah. Oh, there you go. How did I miss that layup? Back body drop. Give him a back body drop.
Bring those back, actually.
Yeah, I agree. We don't see enough of those. Too many Canadian destroyers, not enough atomic drops.
But I don't believe he suspended Braun, did he? He just made him leave that night.
I think he just made him leave the arena. So we get the spear next week in Ireland. Where were they at that night? Dusseldorf?
That was Dusseldorf. Next week is somewhere in Ireland.
Name tickles me.
I don't know. We'll have to find out what happens to Adam Pearce on the next episode of Dragon Ball Z. But we get to the main event, which was AJ Styles versus Gunther in a little kind of mini feud they've built up since the Cena stuff. Obviously, this is probably two of the top 5 workers in WWE right now, so you knew it was going to be a classic as soon as they stepped in the ring. AJ was working the leg early, and he turned that into a calf crusher, which was pretty symbolic because the whole purpose was Cena tapped out and Gunther's gloating about it, and AJ finds it disrespectful, so he's gonna try to make Gunther tap out. A couple other things. I'm pretty sure it was a planned spot, but AJ got hung up on the top rope for a minute,
Yeah.
like kind of on his stomach. And Gunther took the advantage of that, but it was legit so smooth that like if you weren't looking for it, it looked like AJ was legitimately stuck on the top rope. I thought that was like that's one of those like small intangible things, you know what I mean? Like guys like AJ have it, and even a guy like
The
Punk, like he can work the little stuff.
and it's a good little. Would you say that's a callback to that Saturday night's main event where AJ and Dragon Lee faced Leon Slater and Javon Evans, and AJ slipped on the ropes? You remember that?
Oh, I do remember that.
Yeah. So I mean, it's very believable that AJ slipped up here because it just happened at Saturday night's main event.
Yeah,
So
they
yeah,
could.
the small details that you were just talking about. Yeah, AJ is of course a master of his craft and one of the all time when it comes to in ring performers. And yeah, man, the little small details that happens in AJ's matches is something that you don't see very often in
Yeah.
more of the modern wrestlers.
And that's why like I said, whenever you knew these two were going to face off, I figured it would be just as good as I thought it was, and it was my match of the week. Um, but also you've got maybe, let's just say, they're building something here. AJ slipped at Saturday night's main event. He kind of slipped at Raw. Maybe they're going to play into like this. AJ is losing his, what's the
It's
word I'm
washed
looking
up.
for here?
He
No,
got the
maybe
same
not
look.
washed up, but he's he's losing his luster a little bit. Maybe they can kind of roll that into the rest of the year and maybe a retirement match. But we'll see what the story holds. As far as the finish for this match, Gunther did pick up the win, but I loved the finish here. Gunther outsmarted the ref, and I thought that was such a nice way to end this match because Gunther still keeps his heat without just killing AJ Styles.
Yeah, I thought this the complete opposite when it comes to the SmackDown finish and the Raw finish. I actually did think this was creative because Gunther, he usually wins all his matches clean, but at the end of the day, Gunther is a heel, and heels are supposed to cheat. They're supposed to use underhanded tactics, and him manipulating the referee's eyesight to tap out on AJ's outer thigh. That was very creative. If you put on like if we're being nitpicky here, veteran to the game such as AJ Styles would never let go of a submission hold if he does not hear the bell. But I checked my suspension of disbelief at the door, and actually thought it was very creative.
Yeah. It's something I don't think I've seen before, or at least I haven't seen it in a while that I can remember.
Yeah,
And especially, that's what we clamor for on these weekly TV shows is something different, which was a title change, the WWE Championship, and then something creative, which was this finish. So, like, from WWE this week, I think this was probably one of the best weeks I have felt coming out of like the TVs. Because, usually the TVs are boring and there's nothing new, but like, I truly feel like some of the things are getting answered. Like 2025 was that old leaf, you know what I mean? We just turn the page, that's not there anymore. We're bringing in the new guys. We got Trick, we got Javon, we've got some creative finishes, we've got new title changes, and a very unpredictable WrestleMania season. I think this is probably the most excited about WWE that I've been probably in months. And I mean, it helps as WrestleMania season.
yeah, I'm about to say it's WrestleMania season. Is it crazy that the Royal Rumble arena is not built yet? Like, is that crazy to you?
I saw that, but I don't want to make any accusations, but when you think about the working conditions over there,
Oh well,
I mean, again, I hate to be that guy, but it was like the first thing that popped into my mind because I remember having to write an article when I was a kid for one of my classes, and it was about how Qatar was hosting, I think, the World Cup, and they like Qatar was a country that didn't even really exist, but for like 3 years before they got the World Cup bid or something like that. And so they were like trying to build all this stuff, and like the people were just like dying because it's out there in the middle of the desert, and they don't really have any like working conditions because it was a new country. So, yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I'm
Why,
sure.
why do they need a new arena? I think they have like 3 or 4 over there in the kingdom.
Well, it's
They're
Riyadh
building a new
season,
one for Royal
pal.
Rumble. Okay, all right, sure.
I don't know. They're all about. They love the tourism. They love the sporting events.
Well, get used to that arena because the next, I say maybe 5 out of the next 10 WrestleMania is gonna be in that
No, I didn't even think about that.
arena. Yeah,
Jokes on you,
TK.
pal. That's the new WWE headquarters.
I think they do have the is it called WWE World? Isn't it in the? I think it's there.
You may be right. I think you are right.
Yeah. So yeah.
Well, uh, we getting A-Rab money. Anyways, I thought it was a good finish to Monday Night Raw. We'll move to AEW Dynamite on Wednesdays. This was the Maximum Carnage edition, which, I find that funny because they have a partnership with DC, and Maximum Carnage is Marvel.
What
Um,
was? Why did it? Why was it Maximum Carnage though? Why they name it that?
I don't know because they've done this before, but I don't think it was like at the same. Well, no, it was. Last year it was Maximum Carnage on January 15th and 16th. So it was around the same time last year.
But like, why was it called that?
Yeah, I don't know. In December 5th, 2024, they filed a trademark Maximum Carnage, and they said
Yeah.
it would be a two-part television special. I guess maybe it's one of those guarantees they got for going to Max or something where they have like the special episodes, maybe.
But they were doing that before they went to Max. It was like every other show was called something. AEW Beach Break. AEW Winter is coming. AEW. I don't know. Insert lame
There's
reference
more.
here. Yeah, I'm sure it is.
Well, they started the show off with Darby Allen versus Pac, which is obviously a rematch and kind of a blow off match. We've seen Darby do this with the Death Riders for months on end. I'm so ready for it to be over, and I hope this was the end of it. I will say to start, I kind of liked what they did at the beginning of the match with Renee, where she was kind of like a sideline reporter. However, you lost me whenever Pac has to grab the mic to tell the Death Riders to go to the back. Like I feel like that could have been something that Renee like said over the mic. You know what I mean?
I get you. Why is Darby struggling to get a pinfall victory over a flunky in the group that he already defeated?
Oh, well, Pac isn't a flunky, pal.
Is he not a flunky?
He was a double champion in AEW.
What
You don't
what
remember?
double titles no, I don't. What titles did he hold?
I
The
think he was
world champion?
trios champion
Come on
and
now.
international champion.
Bro, if that's the case, then everybody's been a double champion at some point.
Well, he had them at the same time, right?
Uh, So
Yeah,
you
I don't
don't,
know. I feel the same way as you, but the people out there love Pac, and
but he's always
yeah,
been treated as a underneath guy. Why is Darby? Why can he barely defeat an underneath guy when he made the main guy, John Moxley? He made him tap out a couple or verbally give up a couple of months ago. And what happened to John Moxley? Is he still affiliated with the Death Riders? They never turned on him. I know you ain't been watching in a couple months, Micah, but Death Riders never turned their back on John Moxley. He's just kind of not. He's kind of a baby face now because he cut a rah rah AEW speech. Was that on the pay per view? He did that. I think it was. Do you remember that?
Nah,
I don't
I
know.
don't think I watched pay-per-view.
It was after the match he had when he won the Continental Classic.
Yeah, I didn't watch it.
Okay, well he had the stand up for AEW speech at the end of the match, and now he's suddenly a baby face and facing other heels, and it seemed like they were teasing to the Death Riders turning their back on Moxley, but at this point, I don't think it would make much sense for them to turn their back on Moxley because it seems like they're fine with him doing his own thing as a babyface, which makes no sense when you actually think about it. Because their whole point of becoming a group, Death Riders, was because they thought AEW was soft and they needed restructuring, and they were there to kill the heart and soul of AEW. And now Moxley's going out there and cutting a speech about how AEW is where the best wrestle and everybody's having so much fun. And do you get what I'm saying, Micah? Am I just overthinking this?
No, I agree with you. I just haven't seen much of it happen. So I honestly didn't even know that they were having this big split with Moxley. I didn't know that he was a babyface because he wasn't on the show. So like, this is legit probably the first Dynamite that I have fully sat through and watched. When's the last time we recorded like a full like Dynamite review? Maybe November.
Yeah, about that time, yeah.
So
But he
that
won
was
the
when I
Continental
kind of
Classic.
tapped out.
Moxley won the Continental Classic and he beat Okada, the heel. And fans were cheering Moxley, but he never turned babyface. He just suddenly started acting babyface. Is that how you get over a new babyface, Micah? Just by, you know what, I'm good now. Is that how you do it?
I don't think so, but rules don't apply over there, man. Like where they apply in some instances, they just don't make sense in AEW. I'm not even saying that as a knock. I'm just saying their fan base, like they decide more than the wrestlers themselves. It's like half the roster's a tweener. Well, like even like the Hurt Syndicate, for instance, like they were very much heels, and then everybody loved their theme song, and they're like, "Oh my god, I actually like the Hurt Syndicate," and then they just started being good guys randomly. I don't know.
Does that not bother people watching the show? Like, where's the consistency?
Well, they're a part of the show, therefore, yeah.
They'll make up mysterious reasons in their head that it makes sense, but if you're just a casual viewer such as myself, I mean, it throws off a lot of things when you're watching the show because why are the Death Riders still feuding with Darby Allin when the feud has been over for 2 months?
Yeah, that's what I mean. That was my argument. Like the last time I watched AW, I'm like, why are John Moxley and Darby still feuding? They have dude, I don't understand why they can't grasp the concept. If you have a Texas death match, that's it. That's your blow off match. That's not your bridge match to the third and final one. It's Texas death. Like what else do you want?
And if you beat the leader of a big nasty heel faction, you don't immediately start feuding with the underneath guys after you beat the leader. How does that make sense?
That's typically how you get to the leader.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's like I said, some rules just don't apply over there. But as for the match, I thought Darby versus Pac was very good. The hot start made sense. There was a couple crazy spots, but they started out in the arena. However, the bell didn't ring till they actually got in the ring, which I did appreciate because sometimes they get a little I guess liberal with the rules of the contest. But Pac hit a belly to belly on the stairs, which was an insane spot. I see a lot of people kind of giving Darby grief about it, like, "Hey man, you should probably chill out." Which I do agree, but like this is where y'all draw the line.
It's one thing if you're in a blood feud. You remember when Drew McIntyre took that bump on the steps in that Hell in a Cell match that we were there for in Atlanta?
Yeah.
That meant something. That was a huge deal when that happened. Great spot. But when it just happens on like a weekly Dynamite, look, I mean, is it really that impressive?
I mean, yeah, I don't know. That's what even I saw Alvarez and Meltzer talking about it, and Alvarez was like, dude, like they'll talk about it for 2 weeks and then what? And I'm like, man, where has this philosophy been for like half the stuff that Darby does? Like, what does it really and I like Darby, but I just didn't feel like that spot was needed. I mean, it was crazy to see, but like you said, it's just not. Some people are gonna say, "Oh well, Darby versus the Death Riders is a blood feud," but like it should have been over months ago.
Yeah.
For the finish, Darby landed a coffin drop on the ankle, which he had basically Pillmanized with the coffin drop. That was a big spot. And he ultimately made Pac tap out in what I thought was a pretty good way to start the show in a good match. Hopefully, Darby can get away from the Death Riders.
I don't think so.
I
don't think that's it.
a little bit in the free agent news, and then we can kind of segue this into another free agent. But they ran a little package that the Rascals are on their way to AEW. Ryan, you know a little bit more about these guys than I do.
Well, I know about two of those guys because they were in MSK with right around the 2.0 era when it first started. Maybe they were there a little bit before. The tag team of Wesley and what was the other jabroni's name?
I keep wanting to say Nathan Frazier, but I know that's not him.
No, that's not it. Hold on, let me get these
Zachary
guys' names.
Wentz? Is that
Zachary
it?
Wentz, yeah. He's the guy that got Zachary Wentz is the one that got released in NXT when his ex-girlfriend released all the videos of him having like the Hitler mustache.
Oh
And they
yeah.
released him because of all that.
I
So
forgot
yeah,
about that.
he kind of burned his bridges in the Fed, Micah. And so they let Wes Lee do his own thing without Zachary Wentz when he got released, and he actually kind of got over to the NXT audience. He was the NXT North American champion for a good bit, and he ended up losing the title, and he got hurt. I think he had a bad back problem, and so he took some time off, came back. He could never really reach the same momentum he had before he was out on injury, and they turned him heel. They cut his hair, and then that was it for Wesley in WWE because he never recovered from that. And I think he went back to TNA because that's where the Rascals were before NXT, and he reunited with Zachary Wentz, and then they added two more guys that I don't know their name. Some is it Trey Miguel and some who was the other jabroni?
You're telling me. I have no idea.
You don't have the names up, Mike. Come on now. What? Supposed to be Mr. Scoop. You're supposed to have the scoops.
These guys.
You don't know these guys. You don't get you're not in are you not sports entertained by the name Rascals, Micah? Is that not past the name test for you?
Yeah, I'm just not a rascal. It's Trey Miguel, Zachary Wentz, Myron Reed, and Desmond Xavier, which Desmond Xavier is the name of Wesley.
Yeah, so those four guys. You have any thoughts on AEW signing TNA guys a week before or I guess days before
I was saying, in a week.
Days before the new debut on AMC. You got a problem with that, Micah?
I think they're definitely trying to call their shot, especially, I mean, TNA was kind of handicapped. We'll get to it on their first episode of Impact with the visa issues, but then they've kind of gotten raided recently. I just, oh man, the AEW roster is pretty bloated, and I think they do have some stars over there that I'm interested in. I don't know that any of these guys in the Rascals are going to be able to set themselves apart from the pack. Like, I saw a lot of people, oh my God, how could they let go of Wesley? And bro, Wesley was fun for NXT. I don't see Wesley being a main roster top tier star. I'm sorry. Like, I just don't. I could be wrong. I hope I am genuinely for the guy. But just anything I saw from him, he was kind of undersized. He wasn't like the most charismatic guy in the world. And I don't know. I just didn't see like a huge main event of WrestleMania superstar.
It's interesting because AEW has kind of flew under the radar here, but they've signed a lot of TNA's big stars and young stars over the last year. Do you remember Josh Alexander, Micah? Do you remember him?
Yeah. He's
The
somewhere
longest
in the...
reigning TNA world champion of all time. You remember him? Where's
Oh,
he
I
at?
forgot about that.
Yeah, he's the face of the company.
I
Where's he
think
at now, Mike? I forget.
he's somewhere down the long family history of Don Callis.
He's like the seventh most important guy in the Callis family.
It's like the seventh
Oh,
cousin removed twice.
imagine the vitriol that WWE would get if before AEW premiered on TNT, they went and signed Kenny Omega, and then they signed who was a young upstart tag team they had? I think it was just the Young Bucks. They signed Omega and the Young Bucks a week before AEW. Can you imagine the heat WWE would take online for that?
Well, that may be a little bit because those are like main event. Let's say like they stole Private Party right before,
Well,
or
nobody
like
knew.
okay. What about Proud and Powerful? Because they were right there in Jericho's like inner circle day one.
Okay, but you gotta. Oh, but Alexander was the main event guy in TNA, and he was the guy they built the whole company around. So I think that would be equivalent to a Kenny Omega.
Okay, yeah, I guess. Okay, so like Kenny and Proud and Powerful.
Can you imagine the hatred that he would
Oh
have got
yeah.
online? For that? They would have called it contract tampering and WWE trying to put the little guy out of business. But meanwhile, AEW can sign up all these top names from TNA a week before their debut, and we're not supposed to think this is calculated. Like, are we just do we think Tony Khan's stupid here?
Hmm.
He did this on purpose. He has no plan for the Rascals. He's just gonna put them on ROH, just like he put Ace Austin buried on Collision, which is a young up and coming star that TNA had. Just like he threw Josh Alexander and made him the eighth flunky in the Callis family. He has no plans for these guys.
Deanna Perrazzo.
Yeah, Deonna Purrazzo. Yeah, she was the face of the TNA Knockouts division.
Stuck her
Where's
in
she
Ring
at
of
now,
Honor.
Mike? Where's she at now?
Correct me if I'm wrong. Wasn't Athena over in TNA at one point too? They took her, or am I misremembering that?
She was in WWE and NXT.
I thought she made a little stint in TNA after.
She may have during the pandemic era, but I don't recall much about TNA in the pandemic era.
Yeah. I can't exactly blame you there. I could be misremembering that, but yeah, we'll see what the Rascals have in store or what AEW
You know
has
what
in
it's gonna
store for
be,
them.
Micah. You know what it's gonna be. They're gonna debut, and then they're gonna stick them on Collision for the next 2 weeks after that, and then you just never see them. They'll pop up here and there and have matches like they did old AR Fox and everybody else that they signed. It's gonna be a game changer. They feature them for 2 weeks and they bury them Collision. Do this all the time, rinse and repeat.
Yeah. So that's Jay White.
Who? I think I saw him. Was
On a
that
milk carton?
You know what? Yeah, I think he was there. Yeah.
But after that, just a quick note: we had the Triangle of Madness versus the Cosmic Babes of Wrath, which I thought was a pretty solid match. I know you probably didn't either. You either didn't watch it or didn't love it if you did watch it, but I thought it was a very good match. I thought Statlander looked really good here. They made her look strong, but she did take the eventual pinfall from Thekla, which, I get it. They're building towards the world championship. I just don't love that. Statlander's pretty fresh into her reign. And I know we talked about earlier, like, oh, why can't baby faces ever take pins? But yeah, solid match. Did you ever check it out?
I'm glad you had fun watching this. I was not
Okay.
there for this. Yeah, I wasn't there.
All right. Well, then we had the main event of the night, which was for the AEW World Championship. That's crazy. We had 2 world title matches this week, and it's just TVs. Typically
Well,
we've
we
got to
had
wait for
3.
PLE weekends. Oh yeah,
We had
3.
3.
Excuse me. We got one coming
Yeah.
up.
No, we had
MJF.
one on. We had one on SmackDown.
Yeah, I was counting that one. I forgot the one on
Are
Impact.
Are you counting the AMC debut of Impact, pal?
No, well, I wasn't till you reminded me.
Okay. Well, there you go. 4.
No, it's just 3. SmackDown, Dynamite, AMC.
What do you got? Count Raw next week on Monday.
Well, that's next week.
Okay. All right.
But we've got MJF versus Bandito in the main event here. A couple points. I have a feeling you're going to feel a certain way about this match, so I'm just going to get my points out of the way. I think Bandito is sneaky strong. Some of the power moves that he does catch me very off guard, but I still think they're well executed, and they don't look like he shouldn't be doing them. I think Bandito is also very crisp. I think he is the best luchador in AEW. He may even be the best luchador in the world right now in terms of in-ring ability. Like, obviously, Ray is Ray, but I can't really think of anybody that I'd put right there with him.
Did Ray Phoenix die?
Ray Phoenix?
Ray Phoenix? Yeah, we just saw Ray Phoenix on Friday.
I mean, yeah, he looked good, but...
You don't think Ray Phoenix is a better luchador?
I'm just saying Bandito had a better
Vikingo,
showing this week. No,
Vikingo. Not the greatest luchador of all time, Dom Mysterio.
Oh, well, okay. Second best luchador in the world. Sorry.
Grande Americano. What are we doing, Mike? What are you talking about? It's like that's the thing. 4 guys. They had a.
What? You name one guy that's ahead of Bandito.
I named many. Many.
Yeah, you named them, but maybe one guy that I would put.
Oh, so you putting Bandito over all those other guys?
Everybody but Dom. And also, don't mind this $5 bill hanging on my wallet signed by Tony Khan.
El Grande?
I'm putting Bandito over him.
That's blasphemous. You not remember his great match with El Santos? You don't remember that?
Here we go. I do remember it, but...
Yeah. How can you forget that?
He's washed.
Whoa.
He's not the same as he used to be.
He's bestowing his knowledge upon to the next generation by making Rayo and Bravo the next breakout stars of the Lucha division.
It looked like they got broken out by Javon Evans the other night. That's a real breakout star. But anyways, I hate Bandito's finisher. Despite all that, I think that is one of the worst finishers in wrestling right now. However, he had a dive to the outside.
Let's describe that finish for our listeners here. If they don't know who Bandito is, can you describe Bandito's finisher for us, Micah?
Well, the taker, the catcher, is he has both arms on the middle rope, both hands, I guess, and he is bent over while Bandito, the pitcher, runs at him, grabs the waist of the guy,
There
flips
you go.
over him so his legs bounce off the top rope, comes back down, lands, and hits a German suplex.
One of the worst setups to a finisher of all time.
It's just very stagey. Like the guy has to be in a certain location. Like Rey Mysterio, the 619 is like sort of stagey, but I can buy it because it's like a Hurricane Rana into the rope. Now you're kind of draped because you're tired. But like you have to specifically stand in that one spot. It's almost like, you know what used to kill me? Every time Dolph Ziggler went to hit the zigzag and somebody was on the ropes, you knew he wasn't going to hit it. And it just bothered me every time.
Yeah. Yeah, it's I don't know, man. Face down, buns up in the air. Does he have any other moves in the arsenal he can hit? That gorilla press slam that he does, man, that looks more impressive than that.
Yeah. It also is just like at the end of the day, it's a German suplex.
Well, he does a little bounce back with it, Micah. While he's
It's
hanging
just,
on his opponent's waist. His opponent has his hindquarters in the air. I'm trying to keep it PG here on the show.
yeah, I appreciate it. It's just stagey. So I don't really care for it. However, I did very much like the dive to the outside over the barricade. I thought that was a really cool spot and a cool visual. I don't know why the fans were set up that far away from the barricade. I don't know if it was the arena because it was kind of weird, but
It's because they
ultimately,
it's because they cut off 3/4 of the arena. That's why.
wait, what do you mean they cut off 3/4 of the arena?
Bro, they only had like a quarter of the arena for the actual entrance for like the Titantron and the ring. They're only using 1/4 of the arena.
Wait, so how many people did they have? And then what was the maximum capacity? Or do you know?
Ah, hold on. What's the
Well,
jabroni's name that does all
I think
the
it's WrestleNomics, Brandon Thurston.
yeah,
But while
there you
you're
go.
looking that up, MJF did pick up the win. He logged in the label lock after having the disarmor on, but the issue with me is, or the issue I have, is that Bandito passed out here, and I know we just talked about keeping your baby faces strong. That's kind of been the theme around this show, but like, man, just tap out. Like Bandito ain't John Cena, Bandito ain't Brock Lesnar. Like, come on, man. Just tap out. Like, I just don't like the pass out. I think it's overused by guys that really don't deserve it.
Well, you know Bandito is the Ring of Honor World Champ. Like
That's like
Mike,
being the nicest guy in prison, I guess.
it was it's saying that for the show on WrestleTix, it had 2,000 tickets distributed. And show was around. It's not showing like how much the venue could have had, but only about a little under 3,000 people showed up.
Hmm. Well, did you have any thoughts about the main event?
Nah, I pretty much had the same thing wrote down. I don't think it would have. I don't think Bandito would have lost anything if he tapped out here. I don't know why it's thought upon so negatively in modern wrestling to tap out. Like if you watch UFC or any MMA or any pro wrestling over the years, a tap out it didn't really hold as much weight as it does now. Like people think this is the end of the world if their favorite superstar taps out. Like who cares?
Yeah. I mean, I agree with you. Again, like reserve it for your big guys, but I don't know. Just a guy like Bandito, like I know, they've built him up and he's Ring of Honor World Champion, but like let's come on now. Bobby Lashley passing out, sure. Bandito,
He had the flip off the whole crowd too, Bandito?
Did he flip off the whole crowd?
He threw up the double bird, so I assume he meant the crowd, pal.
No, I didn't see him flip the bird off.
You didn't see him hit the double bird on. Maybe he was aiming it at Max, but hit the double one.
The double Chloe, as my wife's family calls it. There's some lore there, but we'll get into that another time. But yeah, I thought it was probably one of the
Was
better
unification
AEW.
match?
No. Just for the AEW
Why wasn't
championship.
it? Why wasn't it?
MJF don't work in Ring of Honor, pal.
Just shows you what they think of Ring of Honor.
Yeah. Not unless he's a babyface teaming with Adam Cole, but other than that, nah.
Okay.
But yeah, overall, I thought Dynamite was a pretty good show. All things considered, there were a couple things that were just okay. But this is probably the best Dynamite that I've watched start to finish in a good while. So for that, I got to give them praise because typically it's like one match and then everything else is just bleh. They did have they got to have one. I couldn't escape the Young Bucks, but better to not talk about that because we've got some other rotten wrestling to talk about, and that was TNA's debut on AMC.
Before we get started, you want to talk about the Hobbs situation in AEW?
Oh, yeah, I forgot to bring that up during the Rascals segment, but yeah, Hobbs apparently is finished up. I think his last date was the collision that they filmed that night. Well, not to spoil anybody, but he's going to lose the Trios Championship because he's leaving the company and expected to sign with WWE.
Yeah.
Are you excited? Is this good news? I personally am excited because I have been somebody that's wanted to see something done with Hobbs for years.
It's crazy to see the the flip up or the change up to all the AEW basement dwellers out there. Because now people are creating this narrative in their head that Hobbs wasn't really good, and who are you gonna push above the actual main eventers that we have right now? You couldn't put Hobbs in that scene. Meanwhile, the main event scene is literally just three guys now. It's MJF, Hangman Page, and Swerve. There's only three guys on the main event scene. You telling me you couldn't make room for Hobbs?
There's definitely been some more suspect characters getting world title chances compared to Hobbs. Like, in all actuality, Bandito versus Hobbs. Hobbs on paper looks like a better world championship contender. Or even like, remember MJF fought Jay White. I know a lot of people get nostalgia glasses on for Jay White from New Japan, but like Hobbs has pretty much all the tools. He may not be the greatest promo, but with the right booking, he should have been in the main event scene. And so I truly believe that Hobbs will be one of the top 3 biggest fumbles of AEW.
Bro, when you line him up to the other 3 main eventers that they got, I think Hobbs looks more like a main event champion star that you would want to build the company around than any of the other 3 guys. You got the edgy humor type guy, MJF, that hasn't really evolved his character since the beginning of AEW. Hasn't evolved his character much. Then you got the emotional cowboy, which all of his reigns, I don't care how many times the AEW fans want to gaslight you into thinking they're great reigns, they haven't been. The ratings were down, and just the overall interest in the product is down when he's the world champ. And you got a token minority in Swerve, and I don't know, man. I feel like Will Hobbs. I feel like He looks the part. He sounds the part. He's got a great story. And what would you have really lost if you would have just had Will Hobbs become world champ over this entire 6-year run he's been with the company? What, like this latest time that Samoa Joe was world champion? You telling me Hobbs couldn't have had that spot?
Yeah, I don't even. And two, it was like a short reign. Like it really didn't even matter that Joe had it
Yeah,
again.
yeah.
Also, I'd like
The
to point
start
out for
push.
anybody raging mad right now that Ryan brought up the comment about Swerve. Ryan
What
is
he?
also
I mean, you
well.
know, am I telling any lies, Micah? We
I wouldn't say it, but you can say it, but I wouldn't say it.
I am a black male. I can say these things, but when you really look at it, I mean, if you line up Swerve Strickland and Will Hobbs, if you line them up side by side, you're gonna pick Will Hobbs 10 times out of 10. Look at him.
Yeah.
I think he's better on the mic than Swerve. He just didn't have the dancing manager to go along with him in a catchy theme music like Swerve has had.
Hey, to be fair, I always did like that powerhouse. I always thought that was a
Oh
cool
yeah,
intro.
that is a good theme. But he didn't have the guy to dance with.
Yeah.
You got to have a
Well,
guy
there you go.
dance.
Well,
Didn't have that.
Ryan, let's say he goes to NXT. Do you have any predictions for the name?
The guy Sean Rossap is saying that he's going straight to the main roster. So I maybe he'll get to keep his name. Actually, he just goes straight to the main roster.
I wouldn't hate it. I like the name Powerhouse Hobbs. Like I think it fits, or even if it was just like Will Hobbs or like Powerhouse Will Hobbs, something like that. I'm really gonna hate it if they change it to like Baxter, Baxter
Uh,
Deepwell, something stupid like that. But
we did not think that the name Gunther was gonna get over. It did. So let's just see how they treat him, and then that would be the last. That would be the reason. I don't know where I'm going with this, Mike. Help me out here. I'm twisted.
you're saying the least of your concerns is what they're gonna name him.
Okay, sure, yeah. If he's treated like a main eventer, then I don't care what they name him. How about that?
Okay. Well, it is getting late here, ladies and gentlemen. But it was a big week. 4 shows to review. So stick with us because we've got the banger TNA Impact debut on AMC. I don't even really know where to start with this one. We're probably gonna fly through it a little bit.
Well, let's start with a commercial because we had many of them.
If I had an ad spot, I promise you to God, I would run it right now. As soon as I start talking about it, AJ Styles makes his there you go, ad spot right there. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we recorded about a 20-minute segment reviewing TNA, but I wish I had my 2 hours back. We're going to save you the 20 minutes, and the best way we can recap it is from a comment that we found on Cage Match. So, here you go. So, here we go. This is from TNA 4444 Life, who wrote about TNA Thursday Night Impact on the 15th of January 2026. All right, I'm trying to get through it. I know the chuds from All Petite Wrestling are review bombing this, but I can't sit here and let this slander last. TNA AMC was awesome. AJ Styles cut a killer promo hyping up the company, a legend. AEW has never had a legend in their company, by the way. Then, when we went to a godly trios match with the Hardys that had an emotional 5-star angle with the Righteous, Matt Hardy, a master of wrestling, said that wrestling is not about 5-star matches, and if Tony Warbucks took that truth to heart and applied it to his promotion, That's the end of the sentence, by the way. maybe their shows could draw like TNA did. We had Hollywood superstars like Ryan Nemeth, Perez Hilton, and stars from a movie CM Punk is starring in. Brand synergy. Warner Bros. Wish they could do that with AEW, but that's a lavender marriage going on there. Poor Zaslav. Santino, a father. All fatherless wrestling fans don't know anything about that. And Disdain is now facing new challenges with Suit, which stands for Silva undisputedly has more girth than Tony Khan.
Wait,
and
what?
You didn't hear that the first time? An electric women's tag match. Better than Babes of Wrath. TNA will save you, Willow. Cora Jade debut was electric.
Well, I
and
agree
the
with
main
that.
event. Oh, well, come
with
on. Kazarian Santana match of the year. Pack your bags, everyone. This was Cody with the pageantry, star power, drama, and in-ring quality. The way Santana powered out of the Destroyer, it felt like he had hidden spirit that was unleashed in all caps. When he spun that block and the 3 was counted, I proposed to my wife and had some FIYA intercourse with TNA on the background. TNA was incredible. Don't listen to the fans and seek this out. TNA 4444 life. That is the greatest comment I have ever read about wrestling, and I cried laughing the first time I read it. Whoever you are, sir, I hope you have a great night.
Oh, you have a great year, Mr. TNA 444. With that, we are crossing the line. We're getting off that line, and we're getting up out of here. Tune in next week. Scoop Slam Podcast, live and in living color. We're going to be right back here and probably talk wrestling. I don't know, Mike. What do you think?
Maybe a little wrestling. Maybe hopefully a little less wrestling, in all honesty.
Might read another comment from TNA 444 Life. But yeah, everybody have a great week, and we'll see you next time.